darkroom. So this is when we're still using films and cassettes. Most practices have gone to the digital modality where you use the computer to get your images. So this is our old school method. So this is a box of film, and this film lives in a lead-lined drawer because ideally we do not want to expose the film to any natural light, whether we're loading the cassette or unloading the cassette. So ideally we would be in the dark. And the only illumination would be your safe lights, which are kind of have a red filter on them. So there's one here and there's one by the automatic processor. That's the only illumination that will be on in this room when you take your film out of the cassette and put it into the processor. Because like I mentioned in the one video, this is 8 times more sensitive to natural light. And if I were to open this cassette, my image would disappear because it's been exposed to natural light. So this is the cassette here, okay? So once you've taken your x-ray, you're going to come into the darkroom and you're going to process it. Today I'm going to show you in the illumination because it's hard to see you in the dark. Okay? So this is the back of the cassette and this is the front of the cassette. So you always want to have the front up when you're taking your x-ray. And then to open it, there's 2 little clamps right here that you would open to take the film out of your cassette. This here is our automatic processor. So this is where the film gets fed into. There's rollers that go up and down, and then there's 3 chemicals that are in this machine. So our first one is the developer, okay? It's actually an alkaline-based solution. And the purpose of the developer is to take the invisible image on this film and make it visible. Okay, so that's what that chemical does. So the film goes through that, and then the second one is a fixer solution. It's acidic, so you'll see there's 2 separate paddles that we actually stir the chemicals before we turn our machine on to make sure that our chemicals are consistent all the way through. So the fixer, what it does is it fixes the image, takes away any of the crystals in the film that haven't been exposed to radiation, which is silver, so it's an environmental hazard. So we have to make sure we expose our films and our chemicals properly based on the municipal rules and regulations. So that solution will be the second solution the film goes through. And then we have a water bath, okay? And what the water bath does is just rinses off any of the chemical residue so that your film will come out to the top here and it'll be nice and dry. So like I said, if I'm coming in here to develop, I'll shut the lights off. I will open up my cassette, okay? And then in there, I have my film that's sandwiched in. So this has not been exposed to radiation, okay? Film is sensitive to heat, moisture, and fingerprints, so you want to make sure you just grab the corner of the film itself. Okay. And then I would put my film in along the edge, and the machine is going to take it in at a timed interval. Okay? Ideally, it's going to feed it in, it's going to go through the chemicals, and it'll come out the top here nice and dry. Okay, so we'll wait for that for a few minutes. So in here is 2 cardboard screens, okay? These are very sensitive as well, just like your film is. So you want to make sure that there is no debris on them, because if there's dirt or debris, it's going to show up on your x-ray. So we do have a special cleaner that we can clean the screens with, okay? At least once every 3 months, okay? So you would spray this on, wipe it with a Kim wipe. We don't want any harsh paper towels, so we'd use a Kim wipe, we'd clean them off, and then we would let it dry before we load this with film. So that little beep you heard on the machine means that it's ready for another film if I had multiple films to process. So now you had cleaned your inside of your screen. So then in the dark, you're going to take out 1 film, okay? So you can see that there's film and then there's some cardboard beside it to support it. So you're just going to take out 1 film, you're going to reload it into the cassette in the dark, and then you're going to close it nice and tightly and then put it in the unexposed box. And then you would shut kept the lid on the film because if someone opened this and there was a lid off, it would expose all the films in this box. Okay, so it's very important to do everything in the dark, but for demo purposes, we kept the lights on. So then in a few minutes, you'll see your dry x-ray pop right out here. It's nice and dry, and then you can put it on an x-ray viewer to look at your image.